It's time for a puzzling iOS Today.
A new way to buy books online.
And a throwback.
It's time for iOS Today. iOS Today comes to you from Twit's LastPass Studios. You're focused on security, but are your employees? LastPass can ensure they are by making access and authentication seamless, whether employees are working in the office or remotely. Visit lastpass.com/twit to learn more.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust. This is Twit.
This episode of iOS Today is brought to you by Eero. These days, you need solid Wi-Fi in your whole house so everyone isn't working on top of each other. You need Eero. Go to Eero.com/twit and enter the code TWIT at checkout to get free overnight shipping with your order. Hello, Mr. Mickey.
Hello, Mr. Lely. Leo Lely Laporte.
Micah Sargent over my left shoulder here. And I'm Leo Laporte over my right shoulder. And together, we do this show for all the fans of the iPad, the iPhone, the Apple Watch, the Apple TV, and CarPlay. It's called iOS Today because we couldn't come up with a name that encompassed all of that.
And iOS is kind of the base of all of those. So it makes sense. Yeah, the backbone. That's a good way to put it. The spine, if you will.
Spine.
We've got... Go ahead.
What are we doing?
Well, today I thought we could puzzle it up by talking about apps that we maybe play with whenever we're looking for something to entertain the brain. It's puzzle apps of all sorts on iOS.
This is actually, as it turns out, I think, if not the most popular category, one of the most popular categories anyway, on your iPad. Because you're sitting there, you got nothing to do, you want to do something, but you don't want it to be like completely mindless. A puzzle game is fun, and there's so many to choose from.
I mean, different varieties. There's so much in so many different categories that kind of fit into the puzzle space. And one of the first ones that I want to talk about was a bit of it sort of rocketed into stardom, if you will. A lot of people ended up talking about this, and it was one of those, okay, fine, I'll download it, I'll give it a try, and it is quite fun. It's a throwback to Where's Waldo a little bit.
Oh, but for grown-ups?
But for grown-ups, yes. And it is called Hidden Folks. So let's look at Hidden Folks here.
Oh, it looks like a coloring book that's not been colored.
And that is a good way to think of it. So there are all of these little, at the bottom, you can see these different categories. If you ask Classy Jesse...
this is like I Spy. Have you ever played that game, I Spy with My Little Eye?
Yes.
This is kind of
what this is like.
Yeah.
And so you have to go around, you can zoom in, and I'm looking for this chicken. This chicken was a single bite-sized dinner, it says. And so you can see there are little animations.
Can I just tell you how much I hate these games?
Do you really?
I hate them with a passion. It just drives me nuts.
Now, I can remember, so I was playing this level, and I was having trouble finding the chicken.
Don't you find that frustrating and annoying?
And so I ended up putting it down for quite a while because of the fact that
you were
I couldn't
mad.
find the chicken.
Right.
I was upset.
Yeah.
But then you go back.
There's all these things doing chicken-like waving, which drives me nuts. There are people all are doing chicken things. They're literally trying to distract you.
They are. They're saying, look here, don't find the chicken.
But you know where the chicken is now.
No, to this day, I still.
This is so hard. I feel like everybody waving looks like a chicken. So
that's fair.
It's driving me nuts. So it's pen and ink. I see a flamenco. Where would a chicken? Can you use logic? Like, where would a chicken be? Not in the water, obviously. Maybe there's a chicken coop. Like,
I never
you could
thought
look for
about
that.
it like that. I have to be honest with you. I never thought about it like that.
I like it that you can at least zoom in.
Yes, you can get pretty close. But here's the thing that's tough about it. You see how there's this person hidden behind that bush there?
That's going to be something you're looking for?
Yeah, they can be quite hidden.
Can you do it another way, that you look for something, find it, and then choose that category? No, you have to start with the category and then. Wait a minute. Are we looking for that little black speck in the lower right? That's what the chicken looks like?
That's an arrow.
Oh,
this is the chicken right here.
It's pretty tiny. Is that actual size?
Yes, it's to scale. It's a 1/10 scale.
That is the smallest. You're looking for basically 4 pixels.
Right. So I'm going to hit the next button so that we can see one level at the start.
Less frustrating.
Yeah. And it looks like that one's locked. How's it coming? I think it's locked because I haven't finished the first.
You finish the chicken, or you don't get dessert.
Oh no, that's not fair.
You're stuck with the chicken. You're stuck with
this
game.
Help that walking folk get across, it says.
Oh. So you finish the bridge?
Oh, maybe I've got to watch them walk across, and then when they get to this part up here where...
the most annoying game ever
Okay,
made.
now I see. So the person's walking. Oh, no, there are bushes in the way.
Oh.
So now I can
Did you get rid of those? Did you hit them and they went away?
I tapped on them, and they went away. And now he's walking along. He or she or they are walking along.
Who is this
and we're
for?
going to come up to this part.
Who is this for? Who is this game for?
It's for people
who like to be annoyed.
Aren't named Leo Laporte, apparently, because he very much does not like this game.
Oh, now wait a minute. You gotta raise that ballast there.
Let's see if I can tug it. Ah, nice.
Okay, good. Now go.
And then they can get across.
Because they give you a hint, because it jiggled a little, so they gave you a hint. Yeah.
And the puzzles aren't entirely
impossible.
The puzzles aren't entirely find something as you're going along, as you can see. This stage here involves trying to help the person get across. So I'm tapping in different places to clear those birds out of the way. So you kind of just play and tap around and explore the space as you try to figure out how to get to the next level. So, look, there's bamboo in the way that I need to clear out.
There's bamboo. Shocking.
Get that.
Get rid of the bamboo. Meanwhile, the chicken is just running away.
Still lost.
The chicken
somewhere.
is digging a hole, so you'll never find. Oh, look! See how you did that? That was good. You lowered the bridge.
Yeah, I learned from that.
So they give you little tasks. It's not merely I spy with my little eye. You can. Is that a chicken? No, that's a hand that looks like a chicken.
If I had $1
for every hand that looks like a chicken.
They finally got to the end.
Do you think that helped you find the chicken?
No, but I think that it helped me calm down and focus on something other than the state of the universe. That, folks, is Hidden Folks. It's available for $2.99 in the App Store. There are lots of levels. It came out a while back, and at the time was an incredibly popular game for the artistry and for those different types of play styles, not just find.
It's cool.
Things.
If you don't mind throwing your iPad across the room, it's cool.
If you have the patience to play the game,
I'm just not that patient.
Then you would enjoy it.
All right, you're going to like this then. I'm going to show you something called The Last Campfire. It's an Apple Arcade game, so you don't have to buy it unless you don't have Apple Arcade. Then you have to subscribe $5 a month. It's kind of worth it. It's from the people who did that boat, the No Man's Sky, not a boat, No Man's Sky. So it has kind of that. Let me go to, because I want you to hear the music on this as I launch it. This is called The Last Campfire, and it is beautiful. It is similar in its frustrational capabilities,
capacity.
Yeah, it's similar, but. By the way, I have a lot of puzzle games from the old days, but I thought I'd do something new. This is The Last Campfire. So I can continue my game, but you know what? I wonder if I should start a new game, because you should see. Yeah, let me reset. Yeah, because the opening is quite beautiful. So we're going to start from the beginning here, because it's got a beautiful cutscene. Now I'm going to have to describe it, because there's no words in this. It's just, there's a normal mode and an explore mode. The normal mode is a quest. In a way, this is similar to what you just did with the bridge, only the graphics are colorful and beautiful. If you remember No Man's Sky, you remember how beautiful that was, but also eerily haunted.
So pretty.
Yeah, this is really a beautiful game. What we see now is a little thing in a rowboat. And there are no humans in this. They're just, well, it turns out you'll find out they're embers. So these embers are traveling in a darkened... Every time I talk, it gates out that sound.
I heard that. Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know what that's all about. I'll talk quietly. There's a little red ember following the other embers. So
wow, this reminds me of Legend of Zelda. It's got that level of visual quality.
Yeah. So there they go. These are the embers. He's unfortunately a little bit of a laggard. They're rowing in their little boats. You see a night sky with stars behind them. And now we've come into an area with flaming torches. Looks like we've come up to a gate of some kind. And the 3 little rowboats, which are ahead of our hero. He's going to blow a horn.
Gabriel.
And the horn opens the gate. Look at that. I wanted you to see this because this sets the story. We're not actually playing at this point. This is a cutscene.
Oh, this is still completely a cutscene?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the setup, so you understand what's going on. Now, our little guy got distracted because a pigeon landed in his boat and he wanted to eat it. Meanwhile, the 3 embers ahead of him have opened the gates and they're rowing their little boats into what it turns out they're going to. What embers don't die. Did you know this when your campfire goes out?
What happens to them?
They just. Oh, he lost his oar. Did you see that?
Oh no. But oars don't die.
Normally they would go into. He'd go in there, but he can't because he doesn't have an oar. And they're all going back to where embers go to die. The last campfire. But our little ember, is floating in a void, a wilderness, all alone. Now look at that. Did you see that? The weeds are growing up behind him. So he's not going to go back
scary.
That way. Yeah. Well, it's the hero's journey. He's going to have to find his way home.
There is a place where the lost embers go.
This is the narrator. She seems like a nice lady.
You're a nice
As the light
lady.
begins to fade.
Yeah. So these are the 3 that went beyond him. They've gone where the lost embers go, right? And they're going to be taken by the ember gods or something. I don't know. The theology is a little unclear, I'm afraid. Ember stood still, unable to face what was to come.
The wall glistened.
The wall's glistening. Should I go visit? I don't know what's going on with my audio.
Yeah.
The painting showed embers on a sacred journey.
Sorry about that. It's something to do with our airplay. So you see I'm tapping to walk. Oh, look. What is this?
There was a symbol on the floor.
There's a symbol on the floor. Now you know I was talking like this when I came in. Wait a minute, who's this?
Ember felt so afraid and alone.
He's found a friend. Oh, Ember.
That it was a relief to find someone to talk to.
Yes. Talk to him. See who it is. Oh no, it's a dead Ember.
Ember froze, almost too frightened to look away.
Apparently embers have skeletons.
When they noticed a small satchel.
Ember is a they, by the way. That's the preferred pronoun for embers. Really sorry about the audio.
Whoa, that's a scary.
Yeah. The skeleton fell over, but Ember's going to pat it. It's going to be okay. So now Ember has the satchel. Stranger's satchel.
The satchel felt heavy.
Heavy?
Ember looked inside.
What was in it?
The statue shone brightly in the light.
It was a golden figure. So now he's got the golden figure. Now this is, remember we're talking puzzles. So we got a little puzzle here. No explanation. We know there's a symbol on the floor. I thought, oh, maybe I can take the golden figure and put it. No, can't do it.
There was a symbol on the floor.
No, but wait a minute. What's up here? Oh, there's a door.
Ember noticed something wrong.
Something is wrong with the door. What do you think's wrong?
It's upside down.
Oh, you're so good. You're so good. We're going to turn it. We're going to turn it. We're going to turn it around. Turn it around. Round and round she goes. I should show how much work I'm doing. So let me show you my fingers as I do this.
Oh, wow.
There. Boom.
Aha, you did it.
I did it, Ember. Look, I lit up the flames and something's happened down. What? Quick, get down there, Ember. Get down there. See what you can do.
There was a round space.
Something used to fit. Well, you know what's going to go there, don't you? Select the golden figure.
Golden figure.
Put it in there. Now, we have a very simple, but the first puzzle. And we're trying to get from here to there. So this is like, I don't know, ever play Sokoban? Sokoban is a really great Japanese game. We have to clear the way for us to go here. So that's a very simple version of what I anticipate will be even more difficult puzzles to complete. So this is a beautiful game. I think it engages you a little more than searching for a stupid chicken.
Oh my God, you always hate on my games.
Ember left, feeling sorry for the stranger now alone in the dark.
Oh, Ember's got a soft heart. And so the game begins. So he fortunately has gone out of this kind of dystopian dark.
Into a dark forest.
Is having a soft heart
Ember
like
could feel
having that
fear
soft
taking
part in
over.
your skull when you're a baby?
They'd washed up alone, somewhere very unfamiliar.
So sorry, I don't know what's going on with the audio. Anyway, I'm not going to go on and on. This, you could tell, I think is a beautiful game. It has a storyline. It has puzzles, you know, kind of, well, you saw some very, very simple early puzzles. I think it's quite beautiful. I really think they've done a nice job with this.
The visuals are especially, I think, what sets it apart.
Yeah. So Ember felt like they were being watched. Tap twice to dash. Run through that forest, Ember, run. So we were in a kind of dimly lit but beautiful forest. If you played No Man's Sky, you'll kind of sense this might have been the same people. We've got another. The flame is calling out, but it's trapped, right? It's trapped in a cage. How are we going to get that flame out of the cage? That's our goal now.
Oh, it's so hot. Oh, okay. I thought it was just floating up there.
So we're discovering a purpose. I don't want to belabor it. We got many more to show. But this is a new Apple Arcade game, just came out, and I think really pretty good. The Last Campfire. Compared to searching for a chicken.
Oh, my God.
No, I won't. In fact, okay, just to make you feel better, here is another Apple Arcade game that is a line drawing game. This one is as bad as the chicken game. This is going to drive me crazy. It's called Spek, S-P-E-K. You play a little speck in a geometric world. Oh, it's not starting at the beginning, but you'll get. I don't need to start at the beginning. So this is the geometric world. Our goal, moving this geometric thing around. Oh, I don't know. There's some sort of puzzle involved here. We got to get this. We got to get it to capture the dots. Okay. Capture the dot. Good, I got one.
Oh, it's a little Pac-Man-y.
Yeah. Well, that's just this level. So the levels change. Oh! Got him. But now there's another dot. I think I'm capturing the dots. I don't know what I'm doing now. Boom. Maybe I'm not doing that.
Oh, okay.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
Oh.
So it's, remember how Monument Valley had you rotate? But this is honestly,
I love this.
Yeah, you would. It's like chicken. It's like chicken searching.
Depending on the perspective.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Now we got it.
Little dot falls along the line. Ah. This is clever.
Isn't it? It's very interesting. It's just line drawing. So there's black lines and a dot, and then you're trying to capture these squares as they enter the playing field. Oh, almost got him. Oh. One more to get. You got to time it because you see he's running away.
Mm-hmm.
I got him. So yeah, you could see this is for people who like spatial puzzles. This is also arcade, which is nice. So those two games, if you already have an arcade subscription, won't cost you anything. That's called Spec, and you're a little speck.
I like it.
Wandering a 3D kind of weird line drawing universe. Your turn, Mikey. I promise not to hate on your next one.
Okay, it's a very simple one. So this one it'll take you back to your childhood. This game is called Letter Fridge. And what you do is arrange the letters on the fridge to spell out different words.
8.
So
T.
Eat.
Oh, so this is an anagram game, but you're doing it with fridge letters, which makes it fun. This
and
is
as you
clever.
said,
I like it.
8.
I like it. So we get all 3 there, and it's level complete. Oh, this is fun. This is cute.
It's very simple. I like the little stitched thing in between.
Yeah, you got a little cross stitch.
And of course, you can make it harder as you go along. These are the kind of beginning stages. Pot.
Yeah, I mean, a longer words obviously would be more. But this is fun. I like crossword puzzles, so this is kind of like you're building a crossword puzzle with the given letters. 80 apples. You're 80% on the apple scale.
And too, with this, I think it's fun to have. Think about it like a kid playing this on an iPad with plenty of space to sort of adjust.
So you're playing on the iPhone, but there's an iPad version of it?
Yes. Now, it is only in portrait mode, which is kind of annoying, which is why I'm playing it on the iPhone right now.
100%. Super. You did it. Level 2. Oh, you added apples to your shopping list. I get it.
Yeah, so that's completing the apples. Now we've got to get strawberries.
Cute. So this is really an incredibly simple game, but I think by making it, fridge magnets and all that, it makes it fun. I think this is great. And if you like word games.
There's a hint if you need it.
Face. So he's got refrigerator magnets. He's on a refrigerator. He's reorganizing the letters F, C, A, and E. He's got cafe.
And look, it even does if it's just
now
3-letter
words. 3-letter one. Right. So
that ends in E.
Ace.
Faye?
Ace.
Oh, ace. Yep, you're right.
Ace. Faye. That's a good word, but I don't know. Ace.
Yeah, probably 2.
Too Faye.
Too Faye for this. This game is not that Faye.
This is cute.
I mean, you get the idea. Yeah, it's a cute little game. And you can see, too, as I'm putting my fingers on the letters, it'll show a little outline of the letter above it. So that way you can still see
clever.
What is there. There's pie.
So now we're doing 3- and 4-letter words. I presume it's going to get longer and longer words, which makes it harder and harder, of course. Yeah. This is cute. And I think kids could play this up to a certain point. I mean, so far, a kid could play this pretty easily.
Let's see, what is that one? I already did Pip.
Did you do Pep?
Pep, that's what it is. You gotta have some pep.
Gotta have some pep. Oh, miles and miles of pep.
Divine, honey.
Divine strawberries, 40%. Wait, I thought you already got strawberries. You're getting more strawberries?
No, strawberries is the current level. So apples was the first level.
Oh, yeah,
Once you finish then you've got those.
You're getting
the whole metaphor is that you're filling your you're filling your refrigerator with these different groceries. And so by completing the levels, that adds those.
Nude, and Dune. I'm surprised they'd allow you to use nude.
I know.
Shocking.
What is this?
Shocking.
There's done.
Oh, you're getting fancy with your efficiencies. Den.
And end.
Good.
Whoops.
See, that's satisfying when you complete it. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Does it have music or anything? Is it? Yes. Do a little sounds.
It probably does.
We don't hear with the system that Mike was using, the Ecamm system. We can't do the. Sound,
unfortunately. But I'm sure there's audio for this one.
Nice.
That one is a free app. It has in-app purchases where you get new fridges that you can add that have harder levels to play. So
can I get one of those Samsung fridges with the internet browser in it and all that?
What else do you got for us? Another one
more?
that has a period at the end. Yeah.
Another one that has a period at the end. That must be Ord. Does the period mean it's arcade? No, I don't know. This is all right. This isn't really exactly a puzzle game. This is kind of wild. This is, have you ever played text adventures like Zork, Colossal Cave, dungeon games, right? They're text only. So this is a modern setting on this called Ord, period. And notice their grammar's good. But this is a fast-paced game. So you get ready. It's giving me two choices, stories and settings. I'm going to hit stories. Do you want a quest? Yes, a quest. Okay, let's play a quest. Okay. Alarm goes off. Wake. Quest. Waiting. Home. Should I leave home or stay home?
Stay home. Stay home.
Cozy. Plant. Should I water it or forget it?
I'm
going to water it because I'm a kind person. Healthy. Television. Watch television. Cartoons. Television. Boring. Quest. Leave.
Oh, now it's time to leave home.
Okay. Lazy. Leave home. See, it made me leave home. Did you see that? Now I'm in the forest.
Like, you need to go.
Okay, should we go over or under the bridge? Let's go under.
Under the bridge.
Always troll and
a troll. No.
And game over. Game over, man. Game over, man. Wake up. Quest. Home. Leave. Okay. Forest. Okay. Road. Should I examine or hitchhike? Hitchhike seems dangerous. Cards.
Yeah.
Cards.
Hitchhike
strangers. Join strangers in the cart, kidnapped, and isn't this fun? Does this not make a text adventure more interesting? Because it's fast-paced. You tap the words. You don't have to type anything. Bridge. Let's go over. Remember, under the bridge was a troll. Here's a river. There's a beehive. Should we try to get honey? You know that's going to end badly, but what the hell? Swarm and...
All right.
Maybe this is as frustrating as looking for a chicken. I don't know, but I feel like I'm having more fun. I'm not going to try to get honey, right? Didn't it sting me? So I'm just going to watch it. Bzzz. Lake. Should I go swimming or fishing? Fishing.
Fish.
Boot.
Shark.
I found a boot. Music. Follow the music. Enchanting.
Ooh.
Thicket. Continue. Deeper. Oh, this doesn't bode well. Should I chase the music? Yes, because it's
I
elves.
really think you should.
Yes, clearing. There's a bard. Should I watch him or approach him?
First. Be cautious at first.
He's skillful. He's a skillful bard. Now I have to approach him. Okay, he's friendly. Thank God. Okay. Perform? Should I perform? Try or decline? Try it?
Try it.
Okay, guitar. Okay. Genre? Should I do jazz or classical? I'm going to have to turn up the level here so you can hear this. Jazz. I like jazz. Uh-oh, he doesn't like jazz. He's mad.
Oh, no.
He screams.
Screams.
I'm going to apologize. Transformation.
I often scream at jazz.
Demon. Oh, no, he's a demon. Demon, should I have a prayer or pray or should I have a pact with him?
If you pact with the demon,
I'm doing a deal with the devil. Nope.
Oh, man.
I got to start all over.
I thought.
Isn't that fun?
That is fun.
Okay, this is just, there's nothing else to it.
The only thing about those games is some of the text adventures have like 3 save slots. And I wish that this had some save slots because having to start all the way over is kind of troublesome. But I do like I like the idea here.
You do get achievements, and I should probably show you the achievements because I've already gotten back and Game Center. I've got end, but I can still get electorophobia, blind, crowded, dad, friend zone, giant, happy, incompetent. So the goal here is to get all of these achievements. Toasty, Vanquished Warlock, Triple X, Youth, and Zap. I've only got 4%. So that's how you make progress in here, right? I don't know how I...
Yeah, that's
back.
That's
there
fun.
We go. So I can restart. I can continue. Let's look at the settings. Sound, I can turn on or off. Language, I can choose quite a few languages. English, Deutsch, Espanol, Zhonghua, Francais, and Ruski. I can choose the effects on or off. So that's about it. I can restart. Alarm. Yes, give me a quest. So I you know what? I don't know how long you're going to play this. It's a couple of bucks. I think it was $3. I don't know, $2. I don't know how long you're going to play it.
But it's fun.
But it's fun. And yes, you could do this on the iPhone too. In fact, that would make more sense. It's wasting a lot of space on the iPad.
I think I'll do one more, and then we could touch on. Well, I'll just say New York Times crossword.
Love it.
Classic.
We've done that many times.
In-app purchase.
Yep.
Love it.
Gotta have it.
But the one I want to talk about, like it, love it, gotta have it, is if you like jigsaw puzzles, then you have to check out an app called Patterned. It is also in Apple Arcade, and it's constantly being updated. And this is one of those puzzles that is mindless enough that you can do other things. I like to listen to audiobooks while I play with this. And basically, it's a jigsaw puzzle, but it uses it uses opacity to let you create puzzles. So as you go along, you can choose a random one, or you can choose ones that are based on like letters. I find if you're trying this out for the first time, those are the easiest one, the lettering ones, because you can use those to kind of inform what needs to be filled. So I've chosen a pattern, and then it's going to show me this sort of washed out version of the puzzle. And then what I need to do is take these jigsaw pieces at the bottom and drop them in the proper spot. And you can see that as I tap and drag on a piece, it shows you the part of the puzzle that needs to be filled out. So what I want to do is try to find the area that has the bunny wearing the goggles, which looks like up here with the start there. And as I drop that, you can see it starts to fill in the pattern in those other areas. So to the right there, there's part of the pattern that's filled in, and the bottom on the left and right, there's part of the pattern that's filled in. So then I'll take the next piece, and this looks like it has a start and go section. And this also has achievements, especially ones for perfect placement. So the more that you perfectly place the pieces, that's some good alliteration there, you'll get little achievements for that. That looks like it belongs there. And I will continue to fill it out as we go through here. I've got that looks right. And this is a smaller one, but there are very challenging versions that are kind of the whole space that gets filled up. And those ones can end up taking a while as you try to find how the pieces fit together.
Take on the physical jigsaw puzzle. This is using the digital world instead of just trying to. And there are a lot of jigsaw puzzle apps on iOS, but this one's nice because it's a little more digital native, which I like. It's also looks like it's hard.
It can be, yeah. There are some levels that get
you like being frustrated.
Apparently, I do. I like a little bit of frustration. It makes me feel like I'm achieving something, because what I like about this is at the end, each of these pieces of artwork you can save and make them into wallpapers if you want. So I do actually have a few wallpapers from the Patterned app that I use as iOS wallpapers from time to time. And we're almost done with this one here. And as you go, of course, it gets a little bit easier because there's not as much.
This nice wallpaper with little cars.
With little bunnies. And some of them are, you don't find out until the end, but some of them are animated as well.
Oh, fun.
And so if they are, then it'll play the little animation.
So you have to use up all those pieces, basically.
Yeah, all the pieces fit somewhere on
this is hard. This is
jigsaw.
This would drive me up the freaking wall. I don't... You and I...
You don't like jigsaws?
I thought we were very alike, but now I know we are not.
And this one happens to be an animated one.
Basically an old man.
I kind of am an old man. And look, animation found. You found a hidden animation.
Oh, that's cool.
This is tied to Game
I'm so glad you found one. Well, show it. Is it going to animate?
It's just one of the bunnies you can see in the car is kind of moving a little bit. Yeah, so they're very subtle animations.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
You can save the puzzle at the end and make it into a wallpaper.
Nice. Now you have Bunny Race wallpaper that you made all by yourself.
On my own.
Effin Dunn was asking me how it looks on the iPhone. Here's how it looks on the iPhone. This is Ord. And actually, I should also mention, I was just doing Quest, but there are other stories. You can do Dimensions, World, Foul Things. So if you do Dimensions, prepare for dimension hopping escapades as you try to find your way back home. So this is perfect iPhone game. Uh-oh. This time, sirens. I'm in a portal. Should I go to the wind or wait? Let's wait.
Wait.
Calculating. Portal. Roars. Oh, gosh. Let's get in there. Enter. Tense. Now it's got slightly green. Yeah. Hides or poles. Poles. I don't know what that means. Spears. Oh, no. Shepherd. Approach the shepherd. Friendly. Shepherd. So this has got a little bit of raptors. He's a raptor. Help. Grateful. Oh, by the way.
Oh, you could ride the raptor.
I'm going to ride a raptor. Ravaged end.
Too new to the raptors.
Do not ride the raptors, okay? We're giving you enough hints.
Did you not see the sign that said, do not ride the raptors?
We have given you enough hints. You're just going to have to. But see, it's actually really a perfect iPhone game.
Yeah,
I think that's a really.
You just tap. Yeah. You're in line.
I think well worth a couple of bucks. There were a couple of other games I was going to mention. We're running out of time. I do want to mention one that we've had on the show before that was a Steve Gibson pick. And I'm just going to throw it up here because some of you are saying, oh, you guys are so stupid. Why would you waste your energy on something solving puzzles that are so useless? For those people, I recommend Circuitry, which actually will teach you logic, circuitry logic. So they're puzzles with, you see actual circuit symbols. You're going to learn how an OR gate works here. You have to connect them together. I've showed this before, but it is a really, I think it's a really great game for people. And your goal is to get this all to light up, which obviously I can't do. So I've made a mistake somewhere. So you get the idea. In fact, we can press check answer, and then you can see, oh, I'm missing 100. So this will teach you. This is actually a fun puzzle game. The only negative is I wish there were more problems. But I think, it's just a couple of bucks. And you can also, by the way, once you've learned, you'll get the gates that you've learned, and you'll be able to, see, I haven't unlocked some of them, but you'll be able to play with these gates to create your own circuits. So if you're a geek, and you want to learn circuit design or logic, I mean, it really is logic that you're going to learn. This is a really cool game. Circuitry, Steve Gibson recommended it some time ago, and I think it's just a lot of fun. So I just wanted to mention that one. For people who say, well, I don't have time to waste playing dumb games. Waste some time learning circuit design.
Learning circuits and Boolean operators in general. That's fun.
Yep.
I'm gonna play
Isn't
that one
cool?
later today.
Yeah, I really like it. And it's a bonus one because we've mentioned it, but it was years ago we've mentioned this, and I just thought I'd tell everybody.
All righty, why don't we take a break?
All right, you know who we're going to talk about today?
I do, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, one of my favorite sponsors, and I use it at home all the time. That's our mesh network, is an Eero. These days, your house isn't just your home, man. It's your office, it's your school, it's your movie theater, it's your restaurant. Being online is not a luxury these days. Being online with a high-quality internet connection is pretty much everything. And if you've this is where the stress you're putting on your internet connection is starting to show, right? The cracks start to show when you got 3 kids doing Zoom and you're trying to get work done. It starts to show up. That's why you need a better internet. You need a better Wi-Fi. You need Eero. Eero's from Amazon, an Amazon company. They acquired them. We actually Eero's been a sponsor for many years on the network. And I have to say, the good news is Amazon's been a great steward. Eero has gotten better and better and better. Eero, first thing, covers your whole home with fast, reliable Wi-Fi inside and out. It's an expandable system. You get a base station and beacons. You can put beacons all over the house. And if you have rooms with no Wi-Fi or bad Wi-Fi, or maybe you can't get it out to the patio, you can add a beacon, and Eero will make every square foot of your house usable. It eliminates poor coverage. It eliminates dead spots. You'll have a consistently strong signal wherever you need it. And that's really important nowadays. For workouts now. My trainer comes in over FaceTime, right? Meanwhile, Michael is in another room doing Zoom. He's a senior in high school. Meanwhile, Lisa's making conference calls on Google Meet with potential clients. We're all at home Eero handles it all beautifully. By the way, we put Michael on a wired. The Eero base station has Ethernet ports, so he's on the wired version of Eero. But you know what's really cool? Don't tell anybody. But you can, with Eero, do things like pause Wi-Fi. So when it's time for Michael to go to bed and stop playing video games, I can say to my Amazon Echo, hey, Echo, pause Michael. Pause Michael's internet. It goes off. It goes off. And I think that's awesome. I actually have schedules set up too. So school nights, it goes off earlier. Non-school nights, he can stay up a little bit later. It's the best thing is you get all these features in something that is dead easy to set up and configure. A lot of times people look at routers and modems and all of this stuff and go, oh, I'm not an IT person. I can't handle this. Eero couldn't be easier. You have the Eero app on your iPhone or your Android device. You set it up. It helps you place the beacons. You plug it in and you're good to go. I love pausing it when it's dinner time because Michael, like a lot of teenagers, he will have his phone, will be eating dinner, and he'll have his phone in his lap, and he'll be eating like this. He'll be looking down, and I go, Michael, I know you're looking at your phone. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I just think this is the greatest thing ever. I should show you my Eero app because I set up my mom on Eero too. Mom's back in Rhode Island. And I was puzzled. How am I going to help her when she has internet problems? And the beauty is I can now see her Eero network too, which is fantastic. This is my internet. And you can see we have the Eero base and then, which is, they call it the gateway, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 beacons. That beacon in the gym I added so that I could have my trainer join me in the gym. You see, here's Michael. And I can pause Michael. I won't do it right now because he's in school. That would be a mistake. You can also see everything that's on your Eero. And when somebody joins your network, you'll know who's there. One of the reasons this is great is because Eero also will shape your internet to fit the devices you have. You can completely see what's going on. I see what my download and upload speed is. I can see that there have been 101,000. This week. There have been 101,000 scans. That's incoming malware in the email. 0 threat blocks. Good news. 927 ad blocks. And I love this. Michael hasn't tried to break through the Eero content filter once. I see all of Michael's devices here, so I can see what he's doing, what he's this. I mean, look at. I can go on and on. I love this thing. Oh, this is also useful. I won't do it, but restart the network. Have you ever had to go unplug your router or unplug? It's very easy to restart the network. There also are great Eero Labs features. I've got band steering turned on. This improves performances by encouraging capable devices to connect to 5 gigahertz. And Mike, I know I saw you on Smart Tech today talking about how to get IoT devices that only are on 2.4 gigahertz working. With Eero, it's a snap to turn off the 5 gigahertz band. Then they join. Then you turn it back on again. You can optimize for conference and gaming. Obviously, that's what we wanted to do. Can you do WPA3? Yes, you can. This is a huge feature, and this is a software upgrade to my existing Eeros to use this new encryption because WPA2 was cracked. I can go on and on and on.
I know.
Probably shouldn't.
Same.
You're an Eero user too?
Oh, heavens, yes. I used Eero in my own home for a long time, and then I got my mom an Eero, same as you, got my mom an Eero system, and I wouldn't look back. No. Never look back.
No, it's the best. It's the best ever. So mom's network is called Piggy. Mine is called Eero. So I'm going to go to mom's Piggy, and now I can see. And if mom's having trouble, I can see what's going on with mom. By the way, one more thing. I'm sure you've talked about this on Smart Tech today. It now works with Apple HomeKit. So just no reason for you to be suffering with bad Wi-Fi. You're asking a lot these days. Eero can do more. Go to eero.com/twit. When you use our offer code TWIT at checkout, you'll get free next-day shipping with your order, so you don't have to suffer for one more minute with lousy Wi-Fi. Now more than ever, you need Eero. I've tried all the mesh systems. Eero's the best. EERO.com/twit. And don't forget our offer code TWIT at checkout. That does two things. One, lets them know you saw it here. Very important to us. But also gets you free next day shipping. Eero.com/twit. Offer code TWIT. Thank you, Eero, for supporting iOS Today. Thank you for supporting it by using that offer code. All right, let's get the news.
The news starts with a report out of Wired about a very troubling thing, which is Apple accidentally notarizing and therefore approving malware to run on macOS.
Not once, but twice.
2 times. This is what, the Schlayer? Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah, Schlayer is a long time. It's been going on with the Mac for a long time. It's not the worst malware in the world. It's more like adware. But still, now I have to say, in Apple's defense, they've always said notarizing, we don't check for malware when we notarize. This is just so you can track it back to the original creator. But it's frustrating.
And that's kind of the issue. I can remember, I follow, oh goodness, I can't think of his name now, but it's a pretty well-known Mac security researcher. And he was talking about the fact that anybody can essentially approve or send an app in for, or a service in for approval and notarization.
Yeah.
Meaning that you don't have to be the creator of that app. You don't have to be the person that's in charge of that app.
Oh, well, that's a flaw.
You can send it in and have it be notarized by Apple.
It doesn't have to. No, that's not true. It has to be associated with your developer account, doesn't it?
Well, that part is true. But when you send in the info, I'll have to find it because I want to make sure that I am getting that correct.
So what Apple did, and this is the key. Oh, yeah, he's great. So Patrick Wardell is Objective-C.
Thank you.
Yeah, and he does a bunch of, highly recommended, by the way, Mac tools to keep, like Lulu, to keep your system safe, and they're all free. But according to Apple, the whole purpose of notarization is that if we catch something, like in this case, we can yank the notarization. So all of a sudden you can't install it without taking extra steps, and we can yank the developer account. So it is associated with a developer account. So I'm not sure what Patrick is talking about with regard to, like he couldn't use my developer account to notarize something.
No, so what happened was,
I think you just create a new developer account.
See, someone went online and found that their app was already notarized by Apple.
Right.
And they didn't understand why, because they hadn't submitted it. So on May 20th of 2020,
there must be a hole to do that.
Yeah, because it says, is Apple perusing the interwebs for apps to scan and proactively notarize? For example, I wrote this thing in 2016, never submitted it to Apple for scanning and notarization, but yet it appears to have both been scanned and notarized anyway. Someone replied to say, I don't think Apple has done that, but someone else has. There doesn't appear to be any requirement that only the developer can submit apps for notarization.
That's crazy.
All you need is a developer ID just in general. You just have to have a developer ID, then you can submit those apps. So anybody with any developer ID can submit arbitrary applications to Apple for notarization.
Well, this is fixable, and Apple will fix it, no doubt, because that's not good.
Yeah, because apparently the reason why that's happening is, you think about at a corporate level, or you run a huge network and you use a bunch of tools, and one of those tools, the developer themselves hasn't asked Apple to notarize it, but you need it for the system that you have in place.
Okay.
So you would need to go in and ask it to be notarized yourself.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
So it's kind of a tough thing there for sure, but then it leads to accidents like this because, like you said, they're not scanning for malware.
You know, in an ideal world, each app would be tied to a specific developer ID inextricably, and when it's notarized, it would be tied to that developer ID. And then that way, Apple can yank the developer ID and the notarization, and that app will no longer, I think it'll still work. That's part of the problem, but it can't be installed again in the future.
Right.
But I guess what they're saying is, well, anybody should be able to submit an app even if they're not the developer. Okay. That makes sense. In order for that to work, you would have to make an app with your developer ID that had Schlayer built into it. That's what happened. And then using a different developer ID, submit it. But Apple still can revoke that app's notarization. Yeah.
Yeah, but that app itself, it's notarization. And that's kind of funny.
The developer ID associated with building the app will also be revoked. So this is a limited this is a limited value game that you're playing. You have to create new $99 IDs, which is, by the way, I think the reason Apple charges $99 is to give you a little speed bump on that.
Yeah, so this is the Wired article. Wardle notified Apple about the rogue software on August 28th, and the company revoked Schlayer's notarization certificates the same day. So it seemed like it wouldn't be installed. However, 2 days later, Wardle noticed that the adware campaign was still active and distributing the same Schlayer downloads. All they had done was notarize using a different Apple developer ID just a few hours after the company began working on revoking the original certificates. So this is it reminds me a little bit of Twitter trolls in that way, where even if you stop one account, they can just go create another one. Yeah.
Very interesting. Huh.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Notarization is not app review, as they say. So
a plug for Patrick's employer, by the way, Jamf, which is one of the great Mac VARs, and he does security research for them. It's nice that they fund that. That's really good.
Yeah, just be careful where you get your different apps and services from. Obviously, Apple will tell you that the safest way to install apps on your Mac devices is from Apple's Mac App Store. But there are a lot more beautiful, wonderful apps that exist out there that don't exist in the Mac App Store. So
Schlayer's been around for years and is the #1 piece of malware on the Mac. So it's frustrating, you know.
Mm-hmm. Up next is that Apple has introduced an interesting update just yesterday to the app review process. It seems to be in response to a lot of the conversations that have been taking place lately. We talked about WordPress. We talked about Epic Games and Apple. And I had mentioned some developers who had made an app that let them find bootlegs of the jam band that they liked, and how that app got pulled without any ability to sort of go against the
process.
These
were legit bootlegs, but Apple thought bootleg, that's not good.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now it's interesting how this is worded, because Apple makes it clear that apparently this is something that they had already announced in WWDC 2020. They say, we've updated the app review process as announced at WWDC 2020. For apps that are already on the App Store, bug fixes will no longer be delayed over guideline violations, except for those related to legal issues. So what does that mean exactly?
It means that Fortnite still is not getting updated.
Yes, exactly. Fortnite with the legal issues, that's a different story. But if you're a developer and you make an app, and especially for new developers, you make an app, you launch it, it's wonderful, everybody's loving it, but people find bugs in it, and you want to immediately get a bug fix out there. But unfortunately, whatever the bug fix does, a new person looks at it and they find something that maybe the original reviewer didn't find, or something you've added is an issue that doesn't match the guidelines. So now, if it's a bug fix and if you label it as such when you package that update, it will still roll out, and you'll have until your next submission to be able to make those guidelines be matched. So it just gives you a little bit more grace period, and you can introduce bug fixes as needed for the app. There's also now a way to appeal decisions about whether an app violates guidelines. That's been adjusted, so the appeals process is a little bit different. But more importantly, is that there is now a way to suggest changes to the App Store guidelines. So you can log in as a developer and head to a page where you can learn about how you submit suggestions for updates to the App Store guidelines, which makes it a more collaborative process. Nice. I think that is nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that pretty much covers it for that, for sure. But it is an interesting change, and I find it interesting that Apple sort of puts that note in there that this isn't in response to anything. This is something we announced at WWDC 2020. So,
well, they did say they were going to do it, and it did take them a while to do it. So it's now in place, and I think that this is much needed. So yeah, I'm glad they did it. They're still going to have to make more adjustments, I think, to the App Store. They're really getting a lot of pressure to do that.
Yeah. I wanted to mention that Apple is supposed to be releasing a new version of iOS 13. It'll be iOS 13.7, and it introduces a built-in option for COVID-19 exposure notifications. So up to this point, the only way for you to use the exposure tracking process, which does it using Bluetooth and random addresses shared with different phones via the Bluetooth process, you had to be tied into an app that was released by either a state or a country, by a government system at the state or the country level. Well, there are a lot of states still here in the United States who do not have an app available. California is one of those. And so Apple is releasing an update to iOS that will include sort of a baked-in version of the exposure notification so that you aren't required to have an app installed in order to do it, but can instead basically keep track of those exposures. And that way, if at some point your county or your state or your entire government of the country comes out with an app to do the exposure notifications, then that information will be available. So it's sort of a stopgap, a bit of a Band-Aid, a bit of a...
This was something Apple always said it was going to do. So
they did?
Yeah. When the Apple and Google APIs came out, they said these will be available, just as you said, for health officials in various jurisdictions to write an app. At some point, we will release an app as well.
Oh.
So they always have said that, and some point has arrived.
Okay. Well,
which is a good thing because as we talked about last week, the university in Michigan, small university in Michigan, that was using a contact tracing app that had horrific privacy issues and security issues. Yeah. And so it's probably a good thing that Apple has released what one must assume, since it's Apple, doesn't have any of those issues, so that places like this college don't have to write their own and can use it. Yeah, they always said they were going to do their own app. They just wasn't going to be right away. Yeah.
I think the unfortunate thing about this is that FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, has spread ahead of the introduction of these tools. And I've heard already from so many people who are scared of this technology because they don't understand it.
We're screwed. They're not going to get the vaccine either. We're just screwed.
That's true.
Let's just face it. Americans are not, we're too bloody-minded and independent. And it's very difficult for public health officials to convince us all to do something for the good of the community. And there's too many people saying, oh, no, you can't do that because of this or that or that. And enough people buy it. And it's, the truth is a contact tracing app doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be universal. It just has to, enough people have to use it that it has some value. But I shouldn't be so... I shouldn't despair, but I do. I despair of the potential of that being used in any way because people are just so. I mean, I remember when we first started talking about this. Georgia Dow on MacBreak Weekly said, "I will never use that." Now, fortunately, she's in Canada, so we don't have to worry about her. But
yeah,
but I think that's there are a lot of people with privacy concerns who say, "No, not going to use it." And this is one of those things where we have to give up some personal privileges to help the community. Wearing a mask, very simple. But so many people refuse to do it for that reason. They don't, no, I don't have to do that. Vaccines will be the same problem when those are available, I think. I'm sorry, that's a downer. Forget I said that.
let me, I mean, it's what is rolling through my mind at all times anyway. Let's round things out with something a little more positive before we head to feedback.
I beg of you.
Bloomberg has released a report. It's Debbie Wu and Mark Gurman together about what they believe will be Apple's kind of next set of products. So we're looking at a complete product refresh, including a new iPad Air that is going to have the design of the iPad Pro, so that more edge-to-edge screen.
Nice.
2 new Apple Watches and over-ear headphones that are not Beats headphones. So it will be Apple's own set of over-the-ear headphones without the Beats branding. Apparently, a smaller HomePod speaker is in the works. HomePod Mini or something like that. But I could care less about that, or I couldn't possibly care less about that one for sure.
You're not alone. I have a feeling the HomePod wasn't exactly a big seller.
No. I think that the news of more Apple Watch models is interesting.
A little discouraging from my point of view, only because I didn't think I'd have to buy a new one every year. That's
true. Yeah. Now, apparently, the Midnight Green, I'm sad to hear, is going to be going away. This breaks my heart. And instead,
that's your color.
That's my color. There's going to be a dark blue color option. So that is the rumored new color that
you do know why they do this, right?
So that you have so that you can show that you have the newest one.
Yeah. It's all it's I've always called it fins. It's fins on the Cadillac.
Yes.
You have to demonstrate a new model year. Has to look different, or there's no way to say I got the new one.
I got the new one. Look at me.
Yeah.
This is the new one that I have.
It also makes people like you with your poor old midnight green old iPhone 11 feel like obsolete. Now I need the new one.
Yeah. Ugh, what even is this anymore? There's blue now. What am I thinking?
That's why I'm of the opinion that when they do come out with Apple Silicon MacBooks, which, by the way, I was surprised was not on this list.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed. Apple even said that we're going to do one this year, so maybe this list isn't complete. But I suspect, despite the rumors to the contrary, there will be a new design, because otherwise, how would people know you have the new one with Apple Silicon?
Yeah.
Right?
Are you going to go around and say, it's got ARM?
Yeah. It's going to have a rotating Apple light in the front, or something. It's got to have something. It's got to have fins.
Yeah. It'll have whistle tips. You know whistle tips?
Yep.
Then the smaller HomePod is supposed to give Apple a way to enter the smart speaker market because it's going to cost less. We'll see. And then also a new Apple TV that has a faster processor.
That was not what was wrong with the HomePod. Just want to say.
Right.
It wasn't that it cost too much. It did too little. Okay, continue.
It does too little.
Yeah.
And it still does too little.
Yeah.
But an upgraded remote, that might not be coming this year. We might see that new Apple TV, but I know that people just hate the Siri remote for Apple TV. So I can imagine that people hear new remote. That's exciting.
Not the first new remote, I should point out.
Right. The original one
you have the original one right there, because I could tell, because you don't have a ring around your menu button.
That's how you know. Yeah, this is for an Apple TV HD instead of Apple TV 4K. Darn it, you noticed I didn't have the fins. Dang it.
The whistle tips are missing.
The whistle tips are on the one downstairs. So
okay.
I just have to shout for Henry to bring it to me.
That's okay. It's okay. You don't have to have whistle tips on your bug rub.
We've got feedback next, but let's take a breath. Now we're back with feedback.
It's time for feedback.
I am excited, Leo, because we, not too terribly long ago, let's see, this was iOS Today, episode 512, How to Send Cards with iOS. Talked about ways to send cards with iOS. And what has come to be one of the most popular options that we shared is one that my mom discovered and ended up sending me cards with, sent Twit a card with, and then I ended up sending a card using it. And that was an app and a company called Punk Post.
Well, wait a minute. We got some mail. Oh,
what?
We got
what
some
is
mail.
that?
This is a punk post we got. Look, I love it, by the way. The punk post uses real stamps, but they're always fun ones. This got a Bugs Bunny in a royal purple robe.
And look at our names on there, and it's all handwritten.
I am in love with punk post. I don't understand how they can possibly make a living doing this.
They do.
Because I sent one after you did it to Lisa. She just got it the other day, and it was awesome. Like a lot of effort went into it. So
yeah, oh my, yeah. I love the way that it's set up,
and I love it also.
Where it's clearly handwritten.
That the back doesn't make it look like you did something weird, like you sent away for this. It looks like you actually did the work on it, right? So this was designed by Keisha Egbert. Okay, it's got a little. They knew you because I know it's not a Chihuahua, but it's close. It's a dog with a beret. Merci. And then artists actually illustrate these. Look at this.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
As custom as you can get. Hey, Leo and Micah. Thank you so much for featuring Punk Post in your recent iOS Today episode. Micah, we're obsessed that your mom introduced you to us. Our artists, yep, real people. Keisha Egbert. Yep, real people. Can't wait to write all kinds of cards for you. The Punk Post team. And I love how they put like dots and they make it really fun.
Yeah, it's very decorated.
Yeah. Isn't that great? So thank you, Punk Post. I am obsessed with this. What are they? You know, the first card I think I sent was like $7, and that includes postage and mailing and all of that stuff. But I think they're even less expensive. I just think it's the greatest thing ever. I really do.
I do. Yeah.
And it's worth it. I mean, if you went to a card store, they're dying. But if you went to a card store to buy a card, it'd cost you $5 for the nice card, and then you'd have to get the pens and do all that and buy the postage. It'd cost you $6. So for an extra $1, they're doing all the work. I think that's fantastic.
And one of the things that I was telling Leo, I think before the show, I opted to pay a little bit extra since I used the first freebie. And so I paid a little bit extra to include some photos. You can pay to have these little, I think they're like 3x3 squares printed out. So I went into my photo library, chose some photos out. I was sending a card to my partner. And so whenever he opened it, along with getting the card with this beautiful handwriting, it also had some photos of us that he was able to save. So yeah, you just got to check it out. Just download Punk Post, head in there and check it out.
I'm a new fan. See, I put it on my the front page of my iPad right there. Punk Post. I love you, Punk Post. I want to send more Punk Posts. So
many designs.
Yeah. I want to make this be my when people send me, because people send me gifts all the time. They're very kind. I want to use this to send thank you notes. So I'm very happy.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Up next, some follow-up. So Samantha wrote in to let us know that Samantha wrote in to talk about her mother's iPhone. Her mother's iPhone, when it is not connected to Wi-Fi, which happens whenever the power goes out because her mother lives in the country, for some reason, she's not getting notification sounds for her messages. But when the power is on and the Wi-Fi is connected, then she does get those notifications. So we are trying to figure out why that's the case. We will be answering that question soon. Samantha wrote in to say, I'll have to look at the settings on my mom's phone, but I won't get back down to see her until Labor Day weekend. Once I have more info, I'll let you know. For now, I'm just going to sit here and ride out Hurricane Laura tomorrow, thankfully at home and not at work. Y'all stay safe from the fires. So Samantha, thank you for the safety and well wishes, and we are wishing you the same as you're riding out Hurricane Laura and the stuff that happens afterward. And we are looking forward to figuring out the case of the Wi-Fi iPhone. This is just such an interesting issue.
And no one has sent us any thoughts, huh?
Yeah, no thoughts so far. Bradley wrote in to ask, and this was a simple, one sentence question. How do you access the mailbox that appears when you send a large file in an email? So I am parsing this message to try to figure out what I think Bradley is asking.
Welcome to my world.
Right? What I think Bradley is asking is about a feature that Apple introduced to iOS's Mail app that lets you send larger attachments using the Mail app for iOS. It's a feature called Mail Drop. Mail Drop, when you try to upload a large file, say a video file, and it's too big to just send in the normal email system, it will say, hey, would you like to send that with Mail Drop? So Apple has some support documents talking about Mail Drop, and it teaches you what you need to know about that. So Mail Drop uploads large attachments to iCloud. They're stored for up to 30 days.
Nice.
You can keep them there, and recipients can download Mail Drop attachments for 30 days after they're sent. So here are some different ways that you can access it. In mail-on-iCloud.com, so you would go in Safari to iCloud.com, log in with your Apple ID. In the sidebar, there's a pop-up menu. You can click and choose Preferences. Click Composing, then select Use Mail Drop when sending large attachments. Then click Done. Now, when you do that, then it lets you upload and send files using Mail Drop.
This is a really nice feature. Exactly.
It looks like an attachment, Bradley, but what you're going to want to do is go to iCloud.com on a Windows PC or a Mac if you have it, or on your iPad, but with the actual browsing window, and open up that mail document and then tap on what looks like an attachment of the Mail Drop file, and that's going to open up that file for you. So your original question, how do you access the mailbox that appears when you send a large file in an email? Your best bet is by accessing it via Safari on the web using iCloud.com. You should be able to access it with the Mail app on your iPhone or iPad or iPod, whatever it is that you're using. But clearly there's something going wrong there, and that's causing the issue of you not being able to open it. So the troubleshooting step is to basically launch it, iCloud.com, from a browser. And it could be that the file is too old. So also keep in mind that if it's longer than 30 days, then it's no longer accessible. So you do need to download that file within 30 days of sending it.
That's a really good thing. Now, I haven't ever received one. It looks like an attachment?
Yeah, it looks like an attachment, but essentially it just sends a link.
And if you double-click it, it will open up, or it'll download and then open up.
It opens up a page on iCloud where you can then download the attachment.
Okay. So assuming that that's what you're asking, he didn't use the word Mail Drop, so we don't know.
Correct. He said, how do you open, let me see, how do you access the mailbox that appears when you send a large file in an email? And Mail Drop, when you do that feature, it looks like a little mailbox.
So it must be.
So the icon is what it looks like. So yeah, I think that's what Bradley's talking about. But Bradley, if that's not what you were talking about, let me know. Or if you have issues using the troubleshooting steps that I mentioned, let us know too, and we'll try to further answer your question.
Woohoo!
All right, we've got app caps next, but let's take another breath and put on our hats.
We do have to take a timeout so we can don our hats, after all.
Yes. I was feeling a little crabby this morning, so I thought I'd bring back the
SpongeBob hat.
Crab.
Oh, cute!
See, this is the only problem.
I love
the eyes are way up here.
I love those eyes. That's really great. Where'd you get that? Did your mom send you that too?
No, I found this on Amazon.
Wow, he's got a crab hat.
It was like $4 or something.
Well,
isn't it cute?
Worth it. Very cute. You could wear that to a baseball game.
What, the New England Crabs?
Yeah. Well, no, the Giants mascot is a crab.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
That's not true. You're lying to me. You're so lying to me.
Am I lying? Would I lie to Micah?
Yes, especially about sports ball. What's your hat?
The Giants mascot's name is, I'm sorry, it's a seal.
Is Gary the crab?
Briefly, there was a crab. Briefly. And it didn't go well.
Giants crab.
It was Crazy Crab, but they replaced Crazy Crab with Lucille.
He's so cool.
Yeah, well, people really didn't like him. So Crazy Crab only lasted a few seasons, and then
apparently was an anti-mascot.
Yeah, and so
I didn't know that was a thing. Man,
replaced.
Sports ball.
Yeah, sports ball's amazing. Now I am wearing, I don't know what this is, but I feel like it's a hat that Zorro might wear to a funeral. I don't know.
It does look Zorro-y.
It's got a black. So it's like a Zorro hat, with a red rim and black lace for some reason hanging from the rim, and then there's a black ribbon. So I think it's Zorro. I'm going to say it's Zorro's funeral hat.
Okay, I like it.
What it is. It's a weird hat. Anyway, why do we wear these? Why do we humiliate ourselves like this?
You know, I ask myself that all the time, but I have to say I'm actually getting in quite the core workout right now.
I blame Sarah Lane.
This goes back to the beginning, doesn't it?
Yes, the very beginning.
We wear hats that are also known as caps. That is what's called a synonym. And these caps rhyme with the word app. And so it's an app cap.
Oh.
And it comes at the end of the show, the cap at the end.
Ever explained that to me.
And so now you understand that these app caps are to honor our app picks of the week.
I am now ordering a squid cap so that I can wear that next time.
You know, that was once the mascot of the 49ers.
Why is the crab cap $4 and the squid cap $12?
12 is a little pricey, but
it's a little more than it's a little bit out of my price range.
It's an expense.
It's an expense.
It's a business expense.
It's a wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, man, this is quite the ab workout. I promise.
We should explain. He's not doing an ab workout because he's so embarrassed to be wearing a crab hat. No. It's because he has to squinch down in the chair so that you can see his antennae.
Yes.
His eyes on stalks. Okay, go ahead. Crab hat.
If I had a voice coach, my voice coach would be upset because I'm not doing proper
One of the
diaphragm.
good things about the squid cap is it's all down. No up. All down. Yeah.
There's no vertical decoration
component.
to it.
No.
Oh, that's going to be kind of fun. So it's sort of the legs hang down.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be fun. I'm excited. All right. I promised a throwback, and here it is. The throwback is for the app, the artist formerly known as, the app known as Airport Utility. Airport Utility is the app that Apple makes that lets you control your airport hardware on your network. As you mentioned, Leo, I was talking about wanting to have a separate but not separate part of my network that was just devoted to 2.4 gigahertz devices. So a lot of smart devices require the 2.4 gigahertz system in order to do proper communication across your house.
They're just old and they don't know about 5 gigahertz.
They don't know about 5 gigahertz.
Also, 5 gigahertz doesn't go through doors and walls well. So
it doesn't go through materials.
Doorbells are usually 2.4, things like that. Yeah.
So I pulled out my old Airport Extreme and set it up on a bridge as a bridge device that will basically serve as a 2.4 gigahertz network alone. And it lets me then connect, and I've decided to do it this way, all of my Wi-Fi smart devices to it. And they kind of are they're relegated to this area. But it was a reminder of how awesome Airport Utility is and how easy Airport Utility is for controlling devices. And so I just wanted to give a shout out. I think that the team did a really good job of making this technology. And even to this day, I was able to do a firmware update on the Airport Extreme. If I wanted to, I could connect a USB hard drive to the Airport Extreme, and it makes the best, in my opinion, network connected time machine backups. Whereas I have network attached storage, and I've had different kinds of network attached storage, different brands of network attached storage. And I can never, for the life of me, no matter how I do it and how I set it up, get the networked time machine stuff working properly. It always fails, and it tries to reconnect, and it always says, oh, I've got to restart the time machine. When I use the Airport Extreme, I have no issues with properly backing up my Mac.
Isn't that interesting?
And I don't know why. I can't figure it out. It's just annoying and upsetting. So Airport Utility is awesome because also I can launch Airport Utility, and I can it'll find the Airport Extreme on the network. So I was able to set it up. And then it also has I've got a printer that's old school, and so it still uses Wi-Fi protected setup, which is so annoying and stupid, but it does. And modern routers, because they know of the insecurity of WPS or Wi-Fi protected setup.
Push button start thing. Yeah.
Yeah. You hit the button and it basically makes it an open network for a moment.
Right.
It's horrible. But because of the lack of security, modern networks don't support that. So with Eero and other modern networks, you're not going to find WPS on them. And I needed to be able to WPS my printer to the network because the other methods of doing it just simply were not working for some stupid reason.
They weren't even working. Okay.
Yeah. Could not get it to work from the app.
They were probably also painful, involving typing in passwords and things.
Yes, a bunch of codes and, praying to a nether god with a squid hat, etc. Praying to crazy crab. Anyway, so with the Airport Extreme, there's literally a feature that is add WPS printer.
Nice.
Apple knew. And so I was able to do that. And then also, I recently added an Elgato key light to my setup, and it uses the Airport utility to add itself to the network. And so the Airport utility launched and said, hey, I recognize there's a Wi-Fi device that's trying to connect, and do you want to connect it to the network? I said yes, and it was easy to do that. So the problem is, if you are wanting to control a non-Apple network, you can't use the Airport utility for that. But Eero, if you're using that, has a fantastic app for doing all that stuff. But for this small part of my network, Airport utility, I just remembered using it in days past and how awesome it was. And to this day, it still is very good at what it does.
And I guess Apple, even though they don't make the airports anymore, they're still updating the software. So that's kind of cool.
Yep. Yeah, that firmware still had an update out there. And I know a lot of people use their, I can't think of what the smaller ones are called, but not the Airport Extreme, but the smaller ones. They use those for AirPlay devices.
Oh, the Express. We use those like crazy. I wish they still made those.
Yeah, me too.
Because that was a really cool idea. Yeah.
So there's Airport utility, just a nice way. And a bit of a throwback. I miss the days when Apple was in networking, but it's fine. I've got my Eero now.
All right. I'm ready with my Zorro funeral hat.
Tell me all about it.
So, Cory Doctorow was on Twit. I love Cory. He's one of my favorite authors. He writes great nonfiction, great science fiction. He's got a new novel coming out, the third in the Little Brothers series. I know a lot of you read Little Brother. What's great about Cory is because he's a technologist, his fiction has always been very topical and timely with privacy and security and all the issues that we grapple with day in, day out. His newest, Attack Surface, comes out in a couple of weeks. He has, though, and I admire him for this, a strong opinion about copy protection. And he's never let his books be on Audible.com because Audible insists on copy protection. Cory, in fact, in most cases, gives away copies of his book online, and he's very generous with it. Usually uses a Creative Commons license, but I want to support him by buying his books. You will be able to buy, of course, Attack Surface, the new book. In fact, you can pre-order it now, I think, on Amazon and at your favorite bookstore. But he also has an audiobook version, and I love it because Cory goes the extra mile when he does his audiobooks. He's hired a woman who was in Buffy, very good actor, to read this story. He recorded it using the same producer and director and studio that he did when he did it for his publisher Macmillan, so it's the professional grade. And I said, well, great, I want to get your new audiobook, but it's not on Audible. He said, well, there are two services that don't require DRM that allow me to offer the audiobook unprotected to anybody who wants it. One is Downpour. The other is, and it's going to be my new favorite, I think I'm going to cancel my audiobook subscriptions with Downpour and Audible for this one. It's called Libro.fm, and I'll tell you why. It's a little more expensive, $15 a month for a one-book-a-month subscription, which is typically what I'll get, or you can buy the books what do you call it? Retail, onesie, twosie, a la carte, if you will. And it's the same price you'd pay at the bookstore. But this is why I like Libro.fm. It supports local bookstores. You choose your local independent bookstore, not your Barnes & Noble. It's got to be an independent bookstore. And a portion of the proceeds, they split, actually, the money they make with the local bookstore. So in effect,
that's awesome.
You're buying an audiobook from your local bookstore. Now, because of that, Libro FM does that thing that Amazon and others do. You can't buy the book in the app. You have to go to the website, the Libro FM website, and buy your books there. You can see I'm supporting Copperfields, our local independent bookstore. And then you can go to Libro.fm, the app, for playback, which is great. So I'm now in the playback mode of the Libro app. The store, you see, you have to just copy a link or send a referral. It's not. I would say it's probably not as sophisticated as the Audible app, which really has been adding a lot of features all along. But it's it's bare bones, but it gets the job done. And I have to say, I am thrilled
Hachette Audio presents
to be supporting my local bookstore by buying books, audiobooks. Not from them, not going into the store, not buying cassettes, but digital downloads, but they still get the money. It has, this has most of the features of any book player. You've got bookmarking. You can look at the chapters, and go to the individual chapters. You can run it at a higher speed or a lower speed. In fact, this has, I think, more playback speeds than Audible does. You can go up to 3.5 times faster, which really was for somebody with a faster brain than mine, or half speed if you like it slower. There's a sleep timer, which of course you need. I am really happy to be able to supporting my local bookstore.
I love that.
Isn't that great? So if there are really to my knowledge, three great audiobook sellers. I'm glad that there's some diversity. Audible, an Amazon company, has really seemed to dominate over the years. And, I've always been an Audible fan. I've been an Audible subscriber since 2000. They were an advertiser for a long time on the network. But I always did feel a little bit guilty, especially once Amazon bought them. I thought, now I'm buying them from Amazon. We're lucky. A lot of cities don't even have bookstores anymore. And that makes me sad. I want to make sure that here in Petaluma, in our little town, that we always have an independent bookstore. In fact, the one we have is Copperfields has 8 branches in the Bay Area. So they're independent, but they're big enough to kind of survive. And I want to make sure that they do. So this makes me feel a lot better. It's Libro, Libro. You can go to the website, Libro.fm, to sign up and buy your books as well. And then once you, and it has, by the way, I should point out that it has every book. It's not like you're going to have a very limited selection, because publishers put all their books up, and it will have. Oh, look at that, bookstore champion Cory Doctorow's newest book, and it says Cory was one of Libro FM's earliest customers and supporters. So of course you can get all of Cory's books on here, including when it comes out in October in a couple of weeks. Actually, it's been about 6 weeks. You'll be able to get A Tax Surface, which is the 3rd in the Little Brother series, which is awesome. Cory is an incredible writer. His science fiction's great, but his nonfiction is also great. And he just put out a book that is on Medium, on the 10 blog, about surveillance capitalism and what we need to do about the big companies. And I think it's absolutely brilliant. He's written a lot of nonfiction. He's currently works at EFF in their competition section. So if you want a Cory Doctorow book, highly recommend it. If you want any book and you want to support your local bookstore, this might be one to look at. Libro.fm. This is the website. You have to buy the book there because of Apple, but you can listen to them. And you need to have an app so that you can listen to it on your phone or your iPad. And of course you can listen on the web too. So isn't this great? I just awesome. Love it. Yeah. Libro, Libro.fm. And that's my app cap. My app cap. And if you didn't see Cory on Twit on Sunday, what a show. Mike Elgin, Cory Doctorow, Odocta. Very powerful show. Cory was on it, as he always is, super smart, had lots of good ideas. And Odocta ends the show, as he always does, with his sermon of the week. And it was heart-wrenching, moving, and very powerful. So make sure you listen to the whole show. That's last Sunday's 2 days ago. Well, guess what? You've listened to our whole show. Well done. Bravo.
Congratulations. Yeah. You made it.
We
made it through a funeral and a giant
crab fest.
Right.
Yeah. A crab feed. Just don't take a hammer to Micah, okay?
Please.
That would be wrong. That would be wrong. And if you do, please spread some newspaper out ahead of time.
Thank you. We do appreciate that.
Yeah, tidiness is always our
some
goal.
Butter.
We do iOS Today every Tuesday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern Time. That would be 1600 UTC. You can tune in and watch it live or listen live. We have live audio and video streams at twit.tv/live. If you're doing that, make sure you're in the chat room, irc.twit.tv. That's where all the folks watching live are chatting amongst themselves. On-demand versions of our shows are always available on our website. All of our shows at twit.tv. In this case, it's twit.tv/iOS. And on YouTube, you can ask can you ask your HomePod? I think you can.
Yes.
You can say, Shlomo, play iOS Today podcast or something like that. Mm-hmm. And that works with Echo and the Google Voice Assistant as well, which is nice. You can always get the latest episode that way. But best thing to do, and it would make me happy, if you subscribed. Get your favorite podcast app and just, it's free to subscribe. You press the subscribe button. That way it automatically downloads the minute it's available. You don't even have to think about it. And you'll have a nice iOS Today to listen to every single week. Micah Sargent, how do people reach us with their questions, comments, and suggestions?
Yeah, so we've been answering some great questions lately and got a lot of follow-up. You can be part of that process by emailing us. It's iostoday@twit.tv. Feel free to send text, but also audio or video. Try to keep it at about 30 seconds or less. You can use, a file sharing app or YouTube unlisted video, however you want to do it. We appreciate you sending those in to us and love to answer your questions on the show.
Yay. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Micah Sargent.
Thank you, Leo Laporte.
We'll see you next week on iOS Today. Bye-bye.
Be sure to check out the other shows on the network, like my other show, Hands On Wellness. I love to share different tips and tricks that's going to help you get a better grasp on your personal wellness. Just go to twit.tv/how and subscribe now.